Picture this. You have a long day at work. You're working a 12-hour shift helping to save lives because you're in the medical field. You go home, feet probably throbbing and hurting. And when you get home, you cook your dinner, you eat, you take a shower, call your mom, telling her you love her, filling her in on her day and your day, not knowing that this is the last time you'll ever even get to talk to her. Her not knowing that she'll never get to hear her child's voice again and never even get the chance to say goodbye. You tell her you love her. You hang up, put your pajamas on, get ready for bed, kiss your loved one next to you goodnight, boyfriend, girlfriend. You go to sleep just to be woken up to the sound of an intruder busting into your door. With no warning, no hesitation, no nothing. You're terrified, scared, just for moments later, bullets to be flying everywhere and pierce your body numerous times. Picture this being your last day, your last few hours on earth. Your family having to suffer now without a reason, without an explanation on why you were murdered in the first place, because you weren't even doing anything, over a mistaken apartment. This is a tragic story and last day of Breonna Taylor. She did not deserve to die. She was not slinging drugs. She wasn't trafficking children, sex trafficking women and children. She wasn't doing any of this. She was simply asleep in the comfort of her own home, where she thought she was safe. In March of 2020, the police in Louisville, Kentucky, decided that they can have a no-knock warrant, which means they invaded her home without warning, in plain clothes. There was no identifying, nothing to identify them as officers. They were in plain clothes, and she thought it was intruders. And it was Breonna and her boyfriend. When they busted into the apartment, they started flinging bullets everywhere. Her boyfriend fired with one shot, not knowing who was in his home. In turn, Breonna gets struck numerous times in her body. Numerous times in her body. The boyfriend suffers no type of injuries. One cop gets hit in the arm. That's it. One person murdered. An innocent person murdered. This makes the cops guilty. They fired in her home through her glass patio door, which is also breaking the rules and the laws, because you're not supposed to fire without a clear sight. A clear line of fire that they did not have. And they fired anyway. The neighbors even said, when they spoke in front of the grand jury and to the cops, that they did not hear anything but bullets. The cops never identified themselves. Imagine someone coming into your home, just barging in through your door, flinging bullets everywhere. How would you respond? You would think it was an intruder too. They never said, police, get down on the ground. None of that. Her life was taken for simply being asleep. Not selling cocaine to your grandma. Not stealing your kids out of the grocery store cart. None of that. She was simply asleep. She wasn't snatching old lady purses. She was simply asleep. She got no justice. 6 months after her death. 6 months after her murder. Did 1 out of 3 of the cops get charged with wanton endangerment for shooting into a wall. A wall. Not a person, a wall. She never got justice, but the walls got justice. In turn, her family won a $12 million lawsuit for wrongful death. How can you acknowledge in civil court a wrongful death But in criminal court, no one is held responsible for the death of a woman, an innocent woman. The same system that took her life is the same system that she works for, trying to save lives, and it took her own. 6 months of protesting for nothing. Too often does this happen to Black people. Too often. And as a mother and a Black woman myself, I fear for my life. I fear for my son's life. I fear for my husband's life. Because just for being asleep, we can get shot, killed, murdered. Breonna Taylor deserves justice. She was asleep.